The chair recognizes the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Gohmert. No.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Bonney, what do you show for Texas?
Texas doesn't owe anything.
Going back to this, and well, thank you. Going back to the sequester in 2013 funds of the funds that were determined from 2012. Unfortunately, this seems to be consistent with what we saw during the shutdown. Obviously, Harry Reid didn't want to compromise. He wouldn't even appoint conferees, negotiators. When we did that, we were making all kinds of compromises he wouldn't accept. Obviously, they thought they would win politically on a shutdown. But we saw something during the shutdown that was unprecedented. I never dreamed I would see. I never thought any party's administration would take the political risk of having a hissy fit and trying to make as many people suffer as possible so that they could blame another party. But having been out to the World War II memorial all hours of the day and night, I've been to the memorials. I don't sleep much when I'm here. I was shocked. You hardly ever see one or two Park Service people, but at one time we counted 16 Park Service people there, a number of them on horseback, to try to keep veterans out of the World War II memorial. And so some of us that were just didn't think any administration would ever hurt people that were so undeserving of being harmed or hurt, had quite an awakening that this administration is willing to harm veterans from World War II. They're willing to do other things in the sake of politics. So when we see money determined by 2012 figures having retroactive application in 2013, it appears to me that although there's lots of rhetoric about veterans and children and wanting to help them, that this administration, and in particular the Interior Department, played right along with the national, as we saw their National Park Service out there trying to prevent people from going out, just walking down the sidewalk. Now we see that they don't mind hurting little children in schools by cutting their funding. It is outrageous what this administration is being allowed to get away with. And then when we request people come here so that we can have proper accountability, to be told by the chief of the U.S. Forest Service, directly implicated, directly affected, who has direct obligations to come report to this Congress that appropriates money, just thumbing the nose, that's the response. The general counsel, for heaven's sake, Ramona Romero just doesn't even show up, as I guess took the lead from Thomas Tidwell. And then Brian Deese, the deputy director for budget from the OMB, just saying, we're not accountable to you. We don't care what you think. It's unbelievable. I mean, as one of the other colleagues was alluding to, I mean, this is the most non-transparent, non-accountable, non-responsive, condescending, crony-coddling, inequitable, dictatorial Interior Department I've seen since I've been here. It's unbelievable. And it seems to me the way that we can take care of the kids, and I hope it'll be a bipartisan effort, is just say it is time to take Arthur Laffer's recommendation seriously. Let's start giving back land to the states and the local government so we don't have to spend more federal money on it, and get it back to a level where there are people who are held accountable. They sure will be in the county government. They sure will be in the state government because it's not that far to the state capitol. But it seems to me that will now be the responsible thing. This deal was done, taking all this national forest land away from locals and state, was done with the assurance that the federal money would always take care of the lost tax money. And now that that's not happening and the federal government, the executive branch is unaccountable, it's time to take that money and get it where people are accountable. So shouldn't be a surprise, but I am now moving in that direction, working on a bill to get that done. Thank you. You'll
I thank the gentleman.